You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Okay, so let's start with the main list. I must say the original controller came with this cheap plastic thing. Seems to be having no input lag whatsoever. So the overall menu looks kind of basic, already mentioned before. And when starting off, you can just see a different kind of list of all kind of PlayStation games, because this system plays all kinds of, basically it plays all the way up to PlayStation 1, but doesn't play PlayStation 2. It will give you a great example with the type or the list. PlayStation 1, some MAME. Then we're having Neo Geo, NES, Game Boy Advance, Color, GB, or the Game Boy Classic, SNES, Mega Drive, and Game Boy Color. And you know, there's all kinds of cool stuff. Here we're having history that basically saves, I think it's one single list, like what kind of games you have played before. And we're having the search option, so let's try that out. I don't know why it doesn't do anything. Okay. Oh, there we go. I was pressing the wrong button. Alright, so it works quite fast. And what I love about this menu, when you're looking in the middle, you can just see that it switches between the platforms. So exactly know what kind of platform you're looking into now. This is Super NES, GBA, and this is the NES. So the overall menu itself looks kind of nice. Pressing start and select at the same time, we're having the extra menu that is basically giving you the option go back to the game or go back to the main menu, restart the game, making quick load, quick save over here. We're having different kind of slots, so that is very cool, even with a tiny screenshot so you know exactly where you were the last time. The key settings, and with the PlayStation 1 we're having the BIOS, and here we can switch between BIOS or the HLA. So it's kind of interesting to see that we can have a lot of different, let's say, configuration methods. Video scaling that has like different filters over it, like fast, smooth, and scanline. I'm just going to leave it to fast, and let's try some games. Okay, so the first thing I've noticed that we do have a small audio delay, and there was nothing we can do about it. But the input lag is, so far I can feel, not here. The controls are quite responsive. The overall gameplay seems to be being very nice. But why this is a really cheap controller, I'm such, let's say, surprised by it. But I'm surprised when it comes to the PlayStation overall emulation performance. You can just see the audio lag. It's absolutely such a shame that they completely messed it up. But beside that, because the overall emulation performance is quite nice. So should you pick something like this device up for PlayStation 1 emulation? I think not. We have so many different emulator game stick boxes that can exactly do the same thing and way better. But the normal aspect ratio and not the same craziness that we have seen before now. But let's move on into some MAME games and let's have some fun with the shmups. So far everything seems to be running just fine. I'm getting my ass kicked in here in this crazy shmup. But no problems here when it comes to the audio or any glitching going on. Unfortunately, we do have the aspect ratio 6:9, and there is no way of changing it out, even if you're going to be into this, let's say, option, scan lines. You can implement scan lines, that is kind of cool, but we want aspect ratio. That is what we want, yes. Alright, so when it comes to some Neo Geo emulation, unfortunately we do have some weird things going on. Yeah, alright. You know, and that is the thing that I don't get, like how is this actually possible that they completely messed it up, where some of the sprites are not like it should be. Another problem I've noticed that loading times are absolutely crazy long, or they're just stuck. So when it comes to the Neo Geo part, it's absolutely one huge mess. And that's kind of a disappointment when it comes to this. But not every single game is problematic. This is just an issue with all of the Neo Geo games I've tested out. But when you're looking into some other ones, it doesn't have any problem whatsoever. The D-pad on this cheap controller is so horrible. Oh boy. Okay, next up some NES, and all of the games will be in, let's say, this crazy aspect ratio, like 16:9, so that's quite unfortunate. But when it comes to NES emulation, it seems to be working just fine. Another thing I was really curious about, how is it with the analog stick? Because the analog stick does have some issues. And there we go. Okay, so let's move on to some handheld gaming with Sonic Adventure. And so far, no input lag whatsoever, because that's a common problem. No audio delay or other weird things going on. So that's absolutely great. I don't really notice any screen tearing going on. Nope, not really. Okay. Okay, more 16-bit power with the Super NES, and so far so good. I did notice with the beginning of the game I did have some weird things going on, some slowdowns. So when it comes to the overall quality, it is debatable, let's put it that way. I'm checking out there is no shoulder buttons configured to this. But so far into the gameplay, there is no problem with the general gameplay itself. Let's move on into some Sega Master System. And this seems to be working just fine, without any problems whatsoever. Then to one of my favorite systems, the Sega Genesis, or also known Mega Drive over here. It's absolutely great system, so no weird screen tearing going on over here. That's one of those common problems I've noticed with cheaper devices. But they managed to do an overall good job when it comes to emulation. Let's see how the audio goes. Okay, no weird things going on here. .3D stage. No problem whatsoever. Absolutely great. And for the final test, let's take a close look at some Sega Game Gear. See how it actually works out. I always found it such a strange power up with the rocket attached to its legs. It's so weird. Or shoes. Depends how you look at it. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video, we are going to take a close look at the PAPKII. So this is one of those like weird devices that I've picked up, and when it comes to this, you can play all kinds of retro stuff with it, and this thing actually looks like a PlayStation 2. You have an option with a built-in SD card, and you have the option to play thousands of retro games. And this is not the weird, let's say, 8-bit shenanigans that we have seen many times before on the channel. We have seen so many Wii clones, PlayStation, NES Mini, SNES Mini, the list is endless almost. But this PlayStation 2 console is kind of cool, because out of the box you can play absolutely crazy amount of games. But how good is the emulation? That is what we're going to be finding out. And is this thing still worth picking up now? So the overall design is not a mini design, it's actually a PlayStation 2 design. And what is kind of cool also, that we're having an SD card that we can just plug in and add your games. Then we're having no memory card slots, because it looks like it, but they're just nothing in there. There is no slots. But we do have original PlayStation 2 connections. And they actually work so far with my version with original PlayStation 2 controllers. At the back we're finding an HDMI connection, an AV out, and then of course the input for the power supply with a barrel jack connection. But let's do a quick unboxing and see what is inside. So the HDMI cable, and then we're having, this is interesting, so we're having a converter from the USB to a barrel jack, so we're needing a 5-volt normal adapter. The controllers are really cheap, horrible knockoff quality. You can just feel that it is absolutely not the overall, it's just the high quality that we're used to, you know, when it comes to PlayStation. They don't even have the rubberized joystick, so oh boy, this is like the cheap as it can get. No power supply or whatsoever, so yeah, we need to find ourselves a 5-volt adapter. Hey, wait, I got one here, so let's use this one. Alright, so when you're looking at this particular PlayStation 2 Slim, it's a very interesting, let's say, piece of equipment. So unfortunate when it comes to compatibility with original controllers, that is absolutely an issue so far, I've noticed. So you're stuck with these like horrible PlayStation fake knockoff things, and they're like the cheap ones, and you're not going to be very happy with those in the long run. So the SD card they're using is a very small one. You can just replace it and update it if you want to, but it is a non-generic, and backupping this is absolutely key for keeping the device alive, because this is just a general problem with these non-generic SD cards. It would be cool to actually like emulate PlayStation 2, so if they're going to be upgrading this device, that would be absolutely great addition. You will never know with these Chinese products. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.